Norwich City 2, Leeds United 2, and a game that ultimately leaves Leeds fans disappointed, leaving Sunderland in the Stadium of Light yesterday. What should have been 3 points ends up being a solitary point in the 97th minute after a mistake from Milan Meslier gives Sunderland a point in a game that looked, for all intents and purposes, like it was getting away from them and was very much in Leeds United's hands to take the game home. It would have been Leeds' first win in the Stadium Light in quite some time. Leeds had done everything they were supposed to do. They played well, they defended well, they'd worked their ball, they'd scored 2 goals. All should be enough to win a game of football, but unfortunately it wasn't in the end. When we got the second goal, Leeds did sit back a little bit, but that should be expected. You're trying to manage the game out as well, but Sunderland are a very, very good side, and they did come and have a go at Leeds consistently throughout the game. And that should be recognised. They're a very, very, very good side who offer a lot of problems, especially in wide areas for Leeds. And with the style of play that Leeds play, it leaves some space. So it was a really interesting and really good game of football to watch, but not a great one from a Leeds perspective. A moment of horror in the second half leads us in a situation where it is 2-2. Leeds, as I said, should have had 3 points and should be going top of the table going into the international break, but instead we go in the playoffs at the moment. Depending on how results go today, we could see ourselves out of the playoffs, and it could have been a week where Leeds took 4 points on the road. A point at Sunderland normally is nothing to be sniffed at. Leeds' record at the Stadium of Light would suggest that a point there is actually not a bad result, and given how they've started this season, they hadn't conceded a goal at the Stadium of Light before Leeds arrived on their doorstep, and they hadn't lost any points until Leeds arrived on their doorstep, and in one game they do both. But it's the manner of the result that leaves the taste in your mouth this morning. It's not necessarily not the scoreline. The performance was good, great, that's what you want. You want the scoreline and the performance to reflect each other. The scoreline doesn't reflect performance. Leeds were excellent. Leeds were excellent and deserved the full 3 points from that match. There's a lot of positives to take out of this game, but it's really hard to take them right now, seeing the result that we've gotten. It can be quite tough to take this, but there is some stuff to talk about. We'll go through the game step by step. We'll talk about the partnerships when we get into it, and we look at what we do now going into the international break and what that means coming out of that international break into 2 very tough games against Sheffield United and then Watford. In that, the game started the first half. Sunderland, in a very weird situation, dropped into a low block immediately from kickoff, which I was very, very surprised. And it took them about 4 minutes to kind of wake up and get out of that position. And they had their first chance early on, and it was smashed over the crossbar. But the first main chance of the game went to them. And then they came out and played. There was lots of attacking play. They had plenty of shots from the edge of the box. They were working balls into wide areas, trying to square them into central areas to get shots on Leeds. And they were really stretching Leeds, and they did a really, really good job of putting it up to Leeds and making sure that they were controlling the game in the early stages. 6 minutes in, Ramazani has his first shot of the night. It's a wild effort, a bit of a wild night for Ramazani in front of goal, but lots of other good stuff that he did around the goal. And then 8 minutes in, the goal comes, and it's a really, really good move from Sunderland. They build the ball lovely from the back. It's quick tempo, high pace passing football. Lovely to watch if you're a neutral, which I'm not. But it was still nice. It's still nice to see it until the ball goes in the back of the net. Patrick Roberts was great on the right hand side, squares the ball inside, and it's passed out to the back post. Meslier does fantastic here, and that should be said, to get across his goal, get down, and he makes an excellent save, touches the ball onto the post to stop a goal. But the ball rebounds across the goal into the middle, and there's no one marking the free man in the middle. Joe Rothwell doesn't track his runner who's come from midfield. But to be fair, if you look at the move, that player kind of comes into the blind side of everybody trying to get on the first ball that's passed, misses it, and he's there for the second one. So there's a bit of luck in that goal, but a good save by Meslier. Unlucky with the rebound, should have been marked. Pirro has a chance from an Aronson work. Good work by Aronson again last night, very busy, had a really good game again last night, and he puts the ball across the goal. Pirro looks for a little flick inside the leg. There's nobody behind him to tap it in, and it didn't get enough on to go towards the goal, so it goes out for a corner. But Leeds are building at this stage. Then Leeds get their goal, and it was deserved. Leeds were building real momentum at this stage and were taking control of the game. It's a wonderful cross from Willie Gnonto into a perfect area for Joel Pirro to head the ball down into the bottom corner and to score his 4th goal of the season and justify his selection in the number 9 position. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks this system might suit Joel Pirro. We didn't see an awful lot of him outside of the goal, but he got a goal and did what he needed to do, and he was in the right place at the right time to get that goal. And wonderful ball from Willie Gnonto. Then after that, there's a couple of moments of madness. Ball pinging around in the box. Gnonto has a chance. Rothwell has a chance. Then Aronson and Gnonto kind of getting each other's way, and it doesn't go in the back of the net. And then a free out's given for who knows what reason. There doesn't appear to be a foul in there, but a bit of madness. But Leeds are really having a go at them at this stage. And then the rest of that half is pretty much up and down the park. Ramazani has another decent chance from a wonderful long-range through ball from Joe Rothwell, but doesn't hit the target with that. And then Sunderland have a couple of chances. Joe Bellingham with a shot from the edge of the box, just goes wide. Patrick Roberts with a chance, and a few other half chances from the edge of the box. Leeds keeping them to long distance chances, but if you give them those chances for long enough, Joe Bellingham will put one of them in the back of the net, but he didn't get that chance. Leeds sorted that out come the second half. Second half was all Leeds at the start of it. Leeds came out in the best way. Then very early on, 55 minutes, Junior Firpo scores a goal for Leeds. A wonderful goal again. Great movement up the park. Firpo plays a 1-2 with Willie Gnonto on the left. Squared back into him and he rolls the ball into the far corner to give Leeds a deserved 2-1 win. At that point, another assist for Gnonto and another excellent performance from him as well. 2 assists on the night for him. Then, towards the end of the game, Leeds have done everything they needed to do. They defended really well. And they've handled the threat of Sunderland. I wasn't sure if we would. I always thought we needed that extra goal. And with Leeds, you always think you need that additional buffer, just in case a mistake happens. And it did. Bogle gives a free kick away inside Sunderland's half. And I've seen some people blame Bogle for this. In that stage of a game, in those late minutes of a game, if you see a team breaking, you're told by your manager, take him out in his half. Put him down. Stop the move. The ball is inside their half. If you concede a goal from inside their half, it's on you. It's absolutely on you. You should not be conceding a goal from a free kick from the corner of the halfway line. It should not happen. It's lumped in by the goalkeeper across. The first head is won by Bellingham. Joe Rowland tries to get there, doesn't get there. But it's still very much in a nothing area. It's on the left-hand side. It's outside the box. There's no danger here. Alan Brown toe pokes it, or inside of the boot, hooks it up in the air. But he's not shooting. He's not passing. He's just putting the ball into an area. And we're watching Illan Meslier come out for the ball. And as the ball starts to drop, it takes a bounce. Meslier goes left. The ball goes right. And it goes into the back of the net. And it's 2-2. The part that gets that bugged me with this is it's a terrible mistake. And let's talk about Meslier. Illan Meslier in this game, as an all-round game, has an excellent game. He even caught the ball several times. 4 or 5 times he caught the ball and took the pressure off Leeds from crosses and from corners. He has an excellent game. He makes a brilliant save. First goal that they get, but there's no one there covering him. Does everything he should do. Has a really, really good game. Calming influence in the goal for a change. He's relaxed. Everything's good. He goes long when he has to go long. He's not taking chances. Everything's going fine. But you can't excuse a blunder like that loses you 3 points against a promotion rival. At the level that Leeds are at, and at the level Leeds are trying to get to, the players that are there should be at that level as well. And the standards are so high that you can't afford a slip like that. I'm sure Illan Meslier feels horrendous today. I've no doubt that he does. And I feel for him because it's a terrible mistake that's going to be talked about for a while. That goal's not going to go away. So I feel sorry for him in that stage. But as a pure Leeds United fan and looking at a game where Leeds had done everything from a game of football perspective to win that match, you can't excuse a moment like that. You can't. Now, it's in the context of this game, and that's all I'm talking about, in the context of this game. I will also go as far with some of the stuff that was said online, the abuse that's being said at players. Why can't people just criticise footballers without abusing them or out threatening them? Why can't people do that? I should say the same here. I get threatened from people here all the time on YouTube. There's one guy particularly yesterday, just will not stop at me, So people it's just, I don't get it. If you can't, by all means criticise the performance, and it should be criticised. When players have bad games, it should be called out. It should be said. You get praised and criticised in equal measure. If you're being praised week to week, you should be criticised when your performances aren't good. And if you've got some stock in the bank, you get away with it. If you don't, you don't. Meslier doesn't have a huge amount of stock in the bank. He's had a really good game here, but that's a massive mistake and it's cost us badly. Leeds could be going in, as I said, joint top of the table. And you'd hope when you look back later on in the season that this won't be a moment that impacts the year. But I think Leeds are in a really good spot. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the game was really good. I thought they were a very, very, very good side. And they had a go at us last night that I haven't seen anybody have a go at us like that since Leicester had a go last year. So they were a very, very good side. We did excellent against them. We dominated most of that game. We only dropped off and we had to drop off to try and manage the game and manage the legs and the minutes and everything else that goes with that. But outside of that, I thought the game plan was perfect. It worked well. We got back into the game. We showed character. Everything you want to see from your side, we showed. So you should be coming away with 3 points. You should be coming home winning that game. But again, it's that one mistake, that one moment of lack of concentration in a serious moment. And the bit for me with it is as the ball is dropping, Meslier has time to go and meet that ball and collect it. And most managers will tell defenders and goalkeepers, don't let the ball bounce. Get it before it bounces. Deal with it before it bounces because it can go anywhere. Get a hit divot. Anything can happen. Remove the opportunity for that to happen. But as it bounces, he's moving left. But he's continuing to move left. And it looks, and from listening to Sky Sports guys in the studio last night talking, I agree with him. It looks like he's hoping to just flick that ball with his hands away from the striker, but he hasn't got the ball. And he's continuously moving. If he just stops, sets himself, gets his feet sorted, he catches that ball. But it's the movement that kills him. There's no need for it. Or go and catch it. Don't let it bounce. Or drop off to your line and let it bounce. And then just catch it. Lots of things he could have done. The one thing he shouldn't have done was the one thing that he did. Kept moving. Needed to be stationary, needed to be stopped. But let's go through the team real quickly. We'll go through the fullbacks, Firpo and Bogle. Thought Firpo had a really, really good game yet again. Very involved, could have had an assist. Bogle, good game as well, outside that free kick. But I I can't blame anyone for a free kick in the opposition's half. Centre back wise, Pascal Struijk for me was absolutely excellent in the game. I thought Joe Rodon had a good game. Pascal Struijk was fantastic. Really, really good game from him. Centre midfield, Rodwell and Tanaka. That was the midfield partnership we were wondering what we would see from. They were brilliant for me. I really enjoyed watching these. Took them a couple of minutes, but there's a lot of energy in that midfield. There's a lot of movement. The passing they get through is excellent. The through balls, the amount of forward balls we tried in the game was great to see as well. It adds a more of attacking, exciting element to what Leeds do. And I really enjoyed watching both of them in the middle of the park, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do going forward. From the wings position, Willie Gnonto, fantastic game again. Wouldn't be surprised if he's not man of the match for the third game in a row. He was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. More mature performances for Willie yet again. Gets 2 assists in the game. Absolutely fantastic. Ramazani, quieter game by his standards in recent weeks, but that's okay. It was to be expected. Still against a very good side. He was still visible. He was still involved, and he still had some chances. So all bodes well for him moving forward. And Joe Piroux, didn't see a huge amount of Joe Piroux in the game, but he did what he needed to do. He was in the right place at the right time in that situation, and he does it really, really well. It's a lovely, lovely header from him. And then the changes. Last 3 weeks, Daniel Farkas got his substitutions bang on the money. Last 3 weeks, his changes have all made an impact. Well, almost Burnley. Outside Burnley, they've all made an impact. This game, slightly different, but it was more a case of managing the game when he was making the changes. The Joseph substitution came on for Piroux, probably a 70-minute around the right time for me. Fresh legs. You know, if we do get a counter-attack, Joseph can run at them, get in behind, but we just didn't get the ball to Joseph. At that point, we were under a serious amount of pressure from Sunderland, and we never really got out. The other changes were whatever was available on the bench of a senior-level player, just to keep it fresh and to keep the energy levels in the players' legs. So again, I had no issue with the changes last night. They didn't make a massive impact in the game. They didn't do a whole lot, but I think they were more a case of keeping the players fresh. And again, that mistake doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the problem. Can't legislate for a mistake like that. And that's going to be it for me today, folks. Massive thanks as always for supporting the channel. We'll take a point, 2 points on the road this week. We'll go into international break and we'll come out of it week after next, and we'll see where we are. We've got some stuff this week coming up. Keep an eye on the channel. There will be news. There will be some other content this week. And I will talk to you on Monday morning for the Leeds news. Have a great rest.